Whoa boy, buckle up folks, this ban and unban announcement is a doozy. Oh boy folks, buckle up, this one's a doozy. We got the ban and restricted announcement for December 16th, 2024, and we got a lot of changes coming. First up here in Pioneer, we see Giganta the Wellspring is banned. Not the only spot that Giganta is going to be banned. I wish they would just give up on Companion at this point. They've already banned Lurrus, Yorian's banned in some places also. Just like give up. Just remove the Companion mechanic from the game. It's obviously bad for the game overall. Citing, diversity. Spoiler alert, also banned in Modern. But good riddance, Giganta. Good riddance, Companions. Whatever. So, moving on to the important stuff. Modern. First up, we got our bans here. All right, we have the One Ring is banned.
Could have picked a better spot.
There had been discussion of would it be flavorful to restrict the One Ring. Now, normally that would be a complete non-starter. We don't restrict cards in non-vintage formats, period, end of story, end of sentence, close the book, paragraph, etc., etc. But the flavor reasoning for the One Ring alongside wanting to keep the marquee card legal made this at least a topic of discussion. People often ask, less experienced Magic players ask, why don't we just restrict cards instead of banning them? For a million reasons, but the One Ring in particular is a really interesting one. And honestly, I wouldn't have hated restricting the One Ring, but they're going to ban it. That's fine too. One Ring's obviously a disaster. 60% of the metagame, yada, yada, yada. Don't need to talk about it too much. So then we see Amped Raptor being banned. All right. And Amped Raptor, obviously Boros Energy has been like 30+% of the metagame. The deck is obviously far too good since the banning of Nadu. What do you ban? For me, it was Guide of Souls or Galvanic Discharge, two of the best cards in the deck. They decided to go for Amp Raptor, with the logic being this is only good if you are all-in energy, whereas you might play, Guide of Souls or Discharge in like a small energy package. Amp Raptor is good in the all-in energy deck and won't see play elsewhere. So I'm not convinced this is going to be nearly enough to keep energy in check, honestly. Galvanic Discharge is probably the best kill spell in the entire format. Guide of Souls, ridiculous one drop, obviously. And even though it lost the One Ring as well, so did everyone else. And Energy wasn't even playing the One Ring at the start also. So I think Energy will more than survive this banning of Amp Raptor. Kind of a weird one. Banning like the 5th best Energy card ever is a little weird, but we'll see. And then again, Giganta also banned. Good riddance to Companions, whatever. Now comes the interesting stuff, all right? The unbans, all right? So 4 cards being unbanned here. First up is Mox Opal, all right? Mox Opal.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, right? That's not what I had on my list. Mox Opal is obviously a pretty ridiculous card. In some ways better than like Mox Sapphire and Friends in the right deck, where it taps for any color. Mox Opal is pretty ridiculous. Was obviously a big deal in Ironworks decks, Affinity and so on and so forth. But Ironworks is a lot of the big deal as far as when this card's doing combo-y things, that's when Wizards of the Coast is really unhappy. Just Affinity stuff is kind of okay. But Mox Opal returns is kind of a surprise for me, honestly. Obviously a huge boon for artifact decks. Urza Saga and Friends, Affinity stuff. Note that since it's last been legal, we have the addition of Meltdown and Wrath of the Skies to the format, which are both absolutely devastating cards for Mox Opal decks. But we'll see. Back in the fold, and Mox Opal's back. More interestingly is Green Sun Zenith returns, and this is a card that was banned a long time ago, mostly because of Dryad Arbor. So Dryad Arbor is the forest land with no mana cost. It's 1/1 creature. With Dryad Arbor in your deck, Green Sun Zenith is 1 green, get a Llanowar Elf, basically. So this was a Llanowar Elf / tutor your green stuff cards, which was really, really good, obviously, in many, many decks. This card's seen play in Legacy, and so on. Almost entirely in the back of Dryad Arbor. So Dryad Arbor's a 1/1. Orcish Bowmasters, run in 6, all still legal. Will that be good enough? I just think it's a pretty interesting unban. I think that the fact that Llanowar Elves is probably at an all-time low in the format based on the removal options that are available make this card probably pretty reasonable. I didn't consider this one as an unban, but I actually kind of like it. So I'm in for Green Sun Zenith. Next up on the unban list, we have Faithless Looting. Wrongly banned so long ago. Very, very happy to see looting back. This is a card that often died for other sins. You know, when this was banned because Phoenix was too good, Metamorphose was the problem, honestly, for Phoenixes. You know, when Dredge is too good, or Hogak's too good, or whatever graveyard deck is too good, it's usually the graveyard card is too good, not the looting. And looting has been a phenomenal hallmark card in Modern for a really long time. Across a bunch of different decks. And I'm really, really happy to see it be released here. A fun card that makes your deck care about something. I've written multiple articles about looting being unbanned and banned unfairly, and now it's back, which is great. But the big one here, the last card to be unbanned is freaking Splinter Twin.
Oh, it's lightning helix! Oh my god!
Unfortunately, I've got bad news for the boomers here. This card's gonna suck.
Still a piece of garbage.
Splinter Twin is going to have almost no effect on the format at all. Once the absolute boogeyman of Modern, in days long past, Splinter Twin was a surgical machine in the hands of a good player, being able to switch gears, play a control role, kill out of nowhere. You know, I played Twin decks in my life, one PTQ the Twin deck, and they were very, very good. However, that was 3,000 years ago, Gandalf, before Solitude, Force of Negation, Force of Vigor, whatever. Just 10,000 million insane removal options and interactive options that have been introduced since then, which are all free or cheap ways to deal with the Twin combo, aside from the fact that the format's extremely more powerful otherwise, right? Modern is 3 times the format it was back when Twin was legal, as far as raw power level and interaction. So, as such, folks are going to try Splinter Twin. I don't think Twin's going to be very viable, if viable at all. Tier 2.5, Tier 3. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think Twin's going to be kind of like Bloodberry Alpha, just the Mind Sculptor, where it comes back, people try it for a ton, and ends up fading into absolute obscurity. That's my read. Let's see if I'm wrong. Come back and make fun of me later. But, however, I still think this is a great unban, because this is a card that's really, really fun. You know, they cite the nostalgia of the format in the blurb about why they're unbanning it, wanting to have more fun old things, and the complaints about Modern being a rotating format. So bringing back some fun old cards. I like the idea here, and it seems like their intent is to do more, honestly, and to unban more things as well, which is cool. Honestly, that's great. So Splinter is back. That's pretty crazy, and we'll see, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, of course. Moving on to Legacy. They banned Psychic Frog and they banned Vexing Bauble. Sure. I haven't played Legacy in a long time. Psychic Frog did seem pretty damn dumb. So card's pretty ridiculous and like a perfect card for Legacy. Blue card, good with days, good with everything else. And then Bauble, I don't know, whatever exactly. So that's mostly it. Aside from that, we've got Gigantoband and Explorer, obviously same thing, and that is it. No changes to Historic, Timeless, no changes to Standard. Standard is great. And quite the announcement though, right? You know, big news for Modern. And again, I feel like the mission statement here is more news to come. They're going to keep unbanning things as much as they can, which makes a lot of sense. There's a bunch of cards on the ban list that shouldn't be there, and that's that. So, I'm Dan Davis. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, support the content. Let me know what you think. Did they miss a card? Should they ban more cards from Energy? Is this a good ban announcement? You tell me, all right? Like, comment, subscribe, support the content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.